All right, everyone. So did you guys see the RNC events in Milwaukee? I've only seen clips so far, and it has been quite silly, like straight out of the boys from what I have seen. Apparently, Hulk Hogan showed up at the last night of it, and people are posting memes where it's Hulk Hogan at the RNC, and it's that video where or that clip where it's just him painting on the side of a trailer or something, the letters N, and then he's like halfway through drawing an I, and you can guess what he's writing, because he's at the RNC and he's racist for supporting Trump, or whatever. Yeah, I found those memes quite funny. They were really good. I liked the Hulk Hogan is racist memes. But, yeah, we're now here watching the RNC after all the history we've had to talk about today. We finally just get to cover some funny, silly Republican goofiness. Like, I've seen a few clips, and this just seems straight out of the boys. It was so over the top. Obviously, everybody here is wearing a maxi pad on their ear to show, like, solidarity with Trump.
From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit to Houston, and New York to LA. Let me begin.
I genuinely can't believe that people called me Blue MAGA for supporting Biden. Like, I actually cannot... I cannot fucking believe people tried to compare Biden and Trump in regards to, like, having supporters that are supposedly fanatical. Absolutely insane.
In this evening by expressing my gratitude.
That we need this for, well, no, we don't need that for Kamala at all. We need Kamala to be, like, humble and likable. This would not fly for a Democrat. You can't do this as a Democrat. They'll call out the ridiculousness of it on its face. But that doesn't happen when it's the Republicans. They just own it and get away with it.
To the American people for your outpouring of love and support following the assassination attempt at my rally on Saturday. Despite such a heinous attack, we unite this evening more determined than...
I'm a victim, but also I'm very strong. We are simultaneously victims and very strong. This is one of the core tenets of fascism. I must repeat it.
Ever. Tragically, the shooter claimed the life of one of our fellow Americans, Corey Comparator. He lost his life selflessly acting as a human shield to protect them from flying bullets. He went right over the top of them and was hit.
He kisses the helmet.
As his son.
I love how it looks like because it's a small mannequin, it like the way he's like holding it, it almost looks like from the back view of how it would look for Trump to like groom a young man dressed as a firefighter. I know it's like hyper specific, but like there's just something like visually like this is what it would look like silhouette wise when Trump is like doing the things he did on Epstein's Island.
As his son, I've never been more proud of...
Zan, they misspelled his name? Wait, really? They misspelled the firefighter that got shot at the Trump rally's name? Where?
As his son, I've never been more proud of a person in my life. A man who survived a bullet that was intended to eliminate him permanently from our future and from our family. Never have I been more proud to be a Trump.
I know President Trump is a fighter. I've been saying this since 2015. Now look at what's happened over the last 10 years. We have all seen it with our own eyes. I know President Trump is literally putting his life...
I love how, like, loud, screamy men and, like, smug, grinning con men in suits are, like, the two demographics of the Republican Party. Like, there's the side of the Republican Party that's, like, loud, drunk, this guy, you know, bald, loud, like, loud men, like, like fucking Joe Rogan types, right? And on the other hand, you've got suit-wearing, glib, smug, smiling and grinning, former frat boy, suit-wearing grifters. Those are the two groups in the Republican Party.
Life on the line for something bigger than himself. And he's willing to risk it all because he loves this country.
But what happened last
Here's another
week
one.
when they took a shot at my hero and they tried to kill the next president of the United States? Enough was enough. And I said, let Trumpomania run wild, brother.
I stand before you this evening with a message of confidence.
Who is they? Well, you guys understand that the narrative has been from the start that Biden and the Democrats are behind the assassination. The shooter was literally a registered Republican. But regardless, like that, when that came out, you'll see they've dropped the narrative a lot in the last week since it came out that the shooter was a Republican. But when it first happened and we didn't have a lot of information, the narrative was that they took the shot. It could be the Jews, it could be the Democrats. They always say they because they means whatever they needs to mean, right? When you're unspecific. A Nazi hears the Jews, a moderate conservative hears elite, coastal elite Democrats, or Hollywood, or whatever word that Nazis mean Jews when they say it, but they think just means wealthy, liberal elites. There's the term they has so much power in politics because it means everything and nothing at the same time.
Strength and hope. Our politics too often divide us. Now is the time to remember that we are all fellow citizens. We are one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As Americans, we are bound together by a single fate and a shared destiny. We rise together or we fall apart. So tonight, with faith and devotion, I proudly accept your nomination for President of the United States. Thank you.
Sounds like he's on perks. He's probably on painkillers. To be honest, though, Trump is almost certainly doped up here. Even if Trump got a paper cut, he would use it as an excuse to ask for whatever painkillers they would give him. So he's definitely doped up here, at least a little, you know? Plus, I imagine, he did get a shot through the ear. So, that probably hurts a good amount, you know? It probably still hurts right now. God, it's beyond parody.
Hey there, MSNBC fans.
Oh my God, jump scare, white man jump scare. Jesus Christ. Oh, here's the day one clips. Here are the ridiculous clips from day one. That was day 3. This is day 1's highlight clips.
Our entire family, and on behalf of the 125 delegates in the unbelievable state of Florida, we hereby nominate every single one of them for the greatest president that's ever lived, and that's Donald J. Trump. Hereby declaring him the Republican nominee for President of the United States of America.
On this day one of the Republican convention, Donald Trump
is that Dave Rubin?
This afternoon. You can see this is the reason why. That is JD Vance.
Oh no, it's not.
The
JD
junior
Vance.
senator from Ohio. The Republican
that's Trump's VP, JD Vance. Sorry, he looked like Dave Rubin from the side.
who has been chosen by Donald Trump to be his running mate.
He is here tonight to show his courage, his defiance against somebody who tried to kill him. You will not take.
For those who don't know, JD Vance is a massive spineless grifter. He was a never Trump Republican for years, and then he completely flip-flopped when Trump was the nominee and, bent the knee, kissed the ring, and he's earned himself a position as the potential VP. So if Trump wins, we'll have JD Vance, who has, JD Vance, I think, has gone on, Nazi rants. JD Vance, I think, is a full-on white nationalist, a full-on neo-Nazi, a young internet age JQing neo-Nazi. Pence was more of a evangelical Christian nationalist. This guy is like a suave Nick Fuentes, like America First Nazi guy who's like young and effective and driven and like ideologically motivated. And if Trump wins, we'll have like real power. And Vance has outright said, and this was the big thing that like determined who gets to be Trump's VP, by the way. Vance has said, were he in Pence's position on January 6th, he would have overturned the election results and given the election to Trump. That was the requirement to become Trump's new VP. You have to say and promise and swear that in Pence's position, you will overturn the election results and you will be loyal to Trump. Like, JD Vance swore that he would do this in that situation, and that is what was like the thing that let him be Trump's VP.
This man down. He has the courage, the strength, and he will be the next president of the United States.
Because on Saturday, the devil came to Pennsylvania holding a rifle, but an American lion got back up on his feet and he roared. Oh yeah, he roared.
Prior to the
It really is a cult. It actually is. It literally is a cult.
this week, we already knew that President Donald Trump was a fighter. He is the toughest man that I have ever met. Nobody has endured more than what he has gone through.
We cannot let this man win in November. We cannot let this man win in November. If he fucking beats Kamala Harris, if he is able to not only prevent, for the second time, America having its first female president, but if he is able to prevent America's first POC female president, if he is able to do that, he will die a happy man, and we cannot allow that to happen. He will have like a grin on his deathbed thinking about it, and we cannot let that happen. Not just because Trump can't be allowed to win, but that like if he does win, he gets a level of like self-fulfillment as like a racist piece of shit white guy that like we can't allow him to have for the remainder of his life. Like that has to be deprived of him. Like we can't let someone as bad as him experience such euphoria. Like it would be too unjust. Well, yeah, Trump was born into money, never worked a day in his life, draft dodged by lying and saying he had bone spurs. This is not a guy who has ever fought or taken a bullet for this country. But that's how they're going to frame it, because they need a strong man. It's part of fascism, right? Like they're going to take something like a bullet grazing his ear and him getting like down on the deck and pinned by his Secret Service as they hold like a cloth to his head and gets dragged away. Like just because he was able to bump his fist after getting shot in the ear means he's like the biggest fighter who has endured more than anyone has ever done in history. Because they're a cult. They're in a cult.
They've attacked his reputation.
He did lose his shoe. He lost his shoe. That was pretty bad.
They impeached him. They tried to bankrupt him, and they unjustly prosecuted him. But even
I like how you can
in the
see
most
the
perilous moment
evil in
this
her
week,
eyes.
his instinct was.
I really love when you can see the evil in someone's eyes. You know what I'm saying? Like you ever just like meet someone, you're just like, oh, I can see like your soul, and it's dark. I know not to trust you right away. Have you ever been able to do that, chat? Like you just look in someone's eyes and you can immediately see how dark their soul is. She's one of those people. Her eyes are a window straight into her soul, and it is fucking dark.
To stand and to fight.
I realize Donald Trump and his supporters don't care.
Oh, man. Did you guys see the response to this speaker at the RNC? The response from the right online was overwhelmingly angry and overwhelmingly racist. Obviously, bringing a bald black woman with a forehead tattoo on stage to try to, like, deny, like, claims of racism towards the RNC didn't go very well because all the racists of the RNC weren't happy with her being there.
If you're black, white, gay, or straight, it's all love.
The crowd cheered for this, or at least enough of it that it, like, sounds loud, but the internet was not happy. The Republican Party online was very upset with this.
And that's when it hit me. These are my people. This is where I belong.
That's funny as fuck when you consider the response that she got online. Oh.
See how Biden and Harris keep making things worse. And we know the current president is not capable of turning things around. His weakness is costing us our opportunity, our prosperity, our security, our safety. Each diminished, all in decline, just like the man in the Oval Office.
I mean, people really want to...
It really is interesting how the whole, like, Biden is in decline, his brain is melting thing, like, that's just Sleepy Joe. Like, that was always just, like, the right's talking point about Biden, because they had nothing else against him. Like, Hunter Biden laptop, what's that have to do with Biden? He's old. Look, did you see him stutter? Look, he stuttered again. Did you see him stutter? It's like, oof. The right did a good job of mainstreaming the talking point with Biden's age.
Look to not only just have a strong leader, but someone that will represent.
If the Republican Party is smart, they will replicate that again. Find something about Kamala Harris. If they're smart, what they'll do is they'll find something about Kamala Harris that's somewhat annoying or like hard to ignore, but it's true. Like maybe she'll have like a facial tic or a verbal tendency that once pointed out it's impossible to ignore, and they will, if they meme it into oblivion, like with like Biden stuttering or misspeaking, and it's memed into oblivion to the point where like mainstream media starts covering it incessantly. Like if they can repeat that cycle for every Democrat nominee in the future, that could be a really good strategy for the Republicans. It's just a matter of, are they smart enough to recognize what they did and how effective it was against Biden, and not just getting people on the right to hate Biden, but people in the middle and on the left to hate Biden. Like, you had lefties basically saying Sleepy Joe, Trump's catchphrase for Biden. If they can repeat that and get even Democrats on board with hating the Democrat nominee for, like, that, like turning their talking points into memes that are so ubiquitous the left repeats them, then that is a very effective strategy for the right into the future. It's just a matter of if they're smart enough to recognize what they did, what they were able to do.
Them, someone they'll fight for them. And I think when you look at the Trump-Vance ticket, it's much stronger than what we've had right now.
And the next Vice President of the United States.
Oh,
JD
here's
Vance.
this is another
From
clip.
his humble upbringing in Appalachia, Ohio Senator JD Vance now sets his sights on the second highest office in the land.
To the people of Middletown, Ohio, and all the forgotten communities in Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Ohio, and every corner of our nation, I promise you this: I will be a vice president who never forgets where he came from.
That blue-collar background contrasts with the wealthy upbringing of former President Donald Trump. Ohio Governor Mike DeWine says Vance's growing up poor with an addicted mother broadens the Republican ticket's appeal.
So did you guys see the JD Vance campaign ad where he says that illegal drugs smuggled in from south of the border nearly killed his mother? He said this in a campaign ad. Turns out he's told the true story, and so is his mom, about her overdose on drugs. She was stealing, she was a medical, she was like a nurse or something, and she was stealing meds from the hospital she worked at and nearly overdosed. But the story is now... they've changed that story to drugs from south of the border nearly killed his mother. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Yeah, JD Vance is awful. Listen, guys. Trump and JD Vance need to be stopped. We got to elect Kamala. I don't know who Kamala's VP is going to be, but who the fuck cares, all right? Kamala and Biden have an insanely great track record. Kamala and Biden are without a doubt the best president and vice president in American history. And if you think that's false, I will literally just debate you on it. Come on to stream, like hop in, hop into the Debate Me VC. Kamala and Biden have been the best president and vice president in American history. They've presided over unprecedented economic growth. Biden's policies, which I assume at least had a part to play with at least Kamala had to have played a part in a lot of the Biden policies we've been covering. Like, it's been an insanely well done administration. And God, like, when Biden was running and announced that Kamala would be his running mate as VP, I did not expect at all that their platform would end up being as progressive as it is. No, Zan, I'll debate you then. Kamala is not right for this. What? Okay, what's your position? Was Biden better? Is Kamala still not good enough? Are you one of the people that wanted Biden to step down, but Kamala's still not good enough? Yeah, imagine she announces Biden as her VP. That would be so fucking funny. They should just do that. Yes, unironically. Oh my God, Alice. Wait, we've got one in chat, guys. We've got one. Alice Ann is one of the people who is calling for Biden to step down. And guess what they have to say about Kamala Harris? No, Zan, I'll debate you then. Kamala is not right for this. And when I asked, is that really what you believe? They said, yes, unironically. Holy shit. It's already happening, guys. They're already finding excuses not to support Kamala now that she's going to be the only other option. They want Trump so bad, guys. They want Trump so fucking bad. Just ban them? Yeah, I just banned them because we're in the middle of a segment anyway, and like there's no reasoning with someone who literally doesn't want to be reasoned with. I thought they were someone who just thought Kamala wasn't good, but Biden was good, which would be like an actual, like that's someone I could reason with. Someone who thinks that like Biden needed to step down, knew that Kamala would be the one taking his place, and then still called for it, and now that Kamala's taken his place, they're still mad. It's like, okay, you're forced the vote tier at this point.
Heel.
Yes, he's had some real life experiences that many people have not had, but that people can certainly relate to.
On foreign policy, Vance is hawkish on China and East Asia, but opposes military aid overseas, especially in the Ukraine-Russia conflict.
I think Vance's pick is probably causing panic in European capitals. Even though vice presidents traditionally don't actually have that much influence on foreign policy, the fact that Trump selected someone whose views, particularly on Europe, align with his own, I think is telling of where he sees the future of the party.
Ohio National Committee woman Jane Timken ran against Vance in his U.S. Senate race, then became his supporter.
He also knows how to articulate our...
God, there's really like no consistency or honesty in the Republican Party. It's so full of grifters and just fakes and frauds. Hey Zan, these people were trolling Dylan Burns' chat earlier today too. Don't trust any new faces making a fuss over this, at least for a week or two. Yeah, it seems like right now the anti-electoral, like super anti-Dem, pro-Trump lefty crowd, and I call them pro-Trump lefties because it pisses them off, and I think it's funny. They're probably going to be doing a victory lap over Biden dropping out while simultaneously shit-talking Kamala, and they're probably going to go into like every streamer that's doing real political content and like going to try and fuck with them. So like Dylan will probably get shit, I'll probably get shit. Doesn't surprise me. Believe it or not, consistency and nuance have never been in high demand.
Perspective, I'm putting America first, and that means securing the border. It means...
I know Cenk Uygur has already announced that he won't be supporting Kamala. He was one of the people calling for Biden to step down, of course. So I imagine Hasan will also be on the anti-Kamala train, on the don't vote blue train. I'm pretty certain Hasan is like a Russian puppet. I'm not gonna lie. I think Hasan's like legit, like actually a Russian puppet at this point. Like, the amount of pro-Russia shit he's done is getting excessive.
Making America prosperous again, and it makes America strong on the world stage.
Like Trump, Vance is pro-Israel, against abortion, and blames immigrants for taking American jobs. Vice President Kamala Harris accused...
I love the like, pen writing of Vance there, because he announced that Vance would be his running mate there, and they didn't know what to put on the poster.
Vance of being a rubber stamp for Trump.
Make no mistake, JD Vance will be loyal only to Trump, not to our country.
The big difference from Trump is that Vance is 39, and if elected, would be the third youngest vice president in history. Ohio State Senator George Lang lives in the same district as Vance.
I think he's going to bring the youth, and we need that. Our party is a party of old white guys. We need to show that we are diverse, we are open.
Bernie Moreno is...
We are diverse and we are open.
Running for the U.S. Senate from Ohio. He says Vance's age is a plus.
It's going to mobilize the voters. I could go right now and say JD, and I could get this entire crowd screaming JD. Hold on one second. JD! 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 JD!
We'll see if that excitement continues across the country as Trump and Vance take their presidential ticket on the road.
Man. We are diverse. I mean, we need diversity. I mean, yeah, it was funny. Man, it really does feel like some parody straight out of The Boys, doesn't it? Every single RNC. I still feel like the most insane RNC was 2020's. The 2020 RNC was fucking wild, bro. That one had, like, there were so many ads for buying gold. Like, 18 different gold, like, buy our gold, buy gold companies were advertising on 2020's RNC. So it was like, oh, an ad for buying gold. Oh, another ad for buying gold. Oh, another ad for buying gold. Oh, an ad for dick enhancement pills. Another ad for buying gold. Oh my fucking god, dude. Yeah, Republicans are gonna... You know, maybe Republicans nuke themselves hard because they can't stop calling any black person in power a DEI, like, figure. Like, yeah. Although they said that we're going to... Like, Kamala Harris will be America's first DEI president. What they mean by that is first black president. They like, when they say DEI, they just mean the N-word. But what you're probably gonna have to be ready to respond to... I'm just going to prep you guys for this because you're going to hear it as an argument and it's going to end up being a big talking point. Biden has specifically said that the reason why he made Kamala his vice president is because she's a woman of color. It was an unfortunate thing for him to just outright say because it gives pretty solid ammo to the right on that point. But he did outright say he put her in that position because of her identity in large part. And so the fact that she has now been basically appointed the nomination as for the Democratic presidential nominee, you're going to hear Republicans, no doubt, make the argument that she was effectively placed into this position through DEI. That is going to be a non-stop argument. However, I think the more the right focuses on Kamala's race, the better. Because the number one talking point that hurts the Republicans is the fact that the Republicans are the racist party. Like, the Republicans are nonstop spending billions a year to debunk the idea, the reality, that they are the party of racism. And so when they cannot help themselves but focus on Kamala's race, the fact that they are racist is going to be pretty hard to deny for, like, even normies. You know what I mean? Like, the same as during Obama's presidency, where everybody who wasn't already, like, insane recognized that those calling Obama, like, not American and demanding to see his birth certificate were crazy, you know? Like, the fact that they couldn't, like, they couldn't go against Obama without, like, screaming the N-word helped Obama so fucking much in his campaign. It was quite literally the battle of racists against non-racists. I genuinely think we could see a very similar political situation to that, where it's like the Republicans can't help but make it about race. Wow, Biden playing 4D chess while Trump is clueless. Maybe. I mean, I'd say it's pretty 4D. Even if you don't like Biden, you have to admit it was 4D chess of him to step down. What I love about this whole situation is no one can maintain a dislike of Biden after this. Even if you... So either you liked Biden because of his policies and don't like that he stepped down, or you didn't like him because of his policies and him being old, but you have to like that he stepped down. Like, the dude literally did what you wanted and stepped down and opened the way for a younger person to take the area. So it's like there's literally... You have to like Biden. You have to admit Biden was, like, a genuinely good guy. He didn't care about power. He didn't care about, like, maintaining his bottom line. He genuinely ran for the people, and the people decided, like, when he... It seemed like the people didn't want him anymore. They kept demanding, you got to step down, drop out of the race, and he relinquished that power. Like, even if you didn't like Biden, you have to admit that he did the thing you wanted, which you have to consider is the right thing. Nazan, the most liked responses to tweets reporting Biden stepping down is just people calling him Genocide Joe, etc. People still hate him. I've seen a fair few tweets that are actually saying, thank you for stepping down. I loved your policies, but you just couldn't win. I'm really sorry, but you did the right thing. You'll go down in history as the best president ever. I saw a lot of comments like that. There were people just straight up saying, like, the only problem was your unelectability. Thank you for clearing the way for Kamala. You'll be remembered as the best president we've ever had. I'm so sorry, Mr. President. Like, comments like that. Like, literally word for word that. I mean, the people calling that call Biden Genocide Joe are definitely going to call Kamala Genocide Kamala or whatever, and they're not gonna vote for her. But regardless, the fight continues. I imagine very little is going to change about the situation. We're voting blue no matter who. You know, it's the same administration, so it's not very hard to encourage people to vote for Kamala when Biden's achievements, you know, carry on to her. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this segment, making fun of the RNC and talking about the future of the Republicans' plans for this election and everything, then consider dropping a like. It really does help a lot and means a lot to me. I'm a bit of a smaller channel. You know, we're getting there. We're almost at 100K subs, but we're still a little ways away, so your support really does do a lot to help us get there. I appreciate the massive outpouring of love and support you guys have been showing lately. The sub growth has been phenomenal. You guys have been liking, commenting, viewing everything a whole lot, so I really do appreciate it. And yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Comment down below, subscribe, ring the bell icon, follow my social medias, and join my fan Discord. And if you want to support me directly, consider donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub on my website, xanderhall.com/live, or supporting me through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, Stream Elements, Patreon, or buying merch, the Streamlabs link down below. But regardless of how you support me, I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good one.